Ta-da! So welcome to this Thursday's meditation. Thank you all for making the commitment to yourself and to me and to the group. And just coming into that comfortable seat. We chant an Om, we set our intention, and then we move on. And that means then you can take whichever position you would like to take. But just closing down the eyes. And so quite an auspicious day today, being full moon. And notice I haven't given you any indication as to what to do with your hands. So any mudra, any hand position, anywhere you want to have your hands is fine. I will bring mine in mudra of knowledge with my thumbs or my palms facing up. And they call it the Vesak Full Moon. So happy full moon, everyone. It's sort of generally, just for not going into it into more detail, it's that idea of remembering and celebrating Buddha's enlightenment. If we want to draw it back to well, religion or worldly events. And a full moon is often, and I think Sabrina mentioned that, where we can feel a little emotionally, a little jittery, a little unsettled. There's lots going on. It's not, you know, it's the complete opposite to the new moon, where we feel a little lethargic, a little grounded, a little drawing inwards, snuggly, cuddly. The full moon, we need the cuddles and the hugs as well, but more to kind of stabilize ourselves. Kind of go, let's just come back to earth. Let's just ground and relax. Yeah, meditation in general, the idea of calming the mind and relaxing the body as a basis. So perhaps you would like to set a private intention. That full moon, the idea of the full moon in Scorpio here is the idea of when we reflect back over the last moon cycle, perhaps, and it quite nicely coincides with the time we've been in isolation. What have we learned? What have we gained? So I'm just putting these questions out there for you to just let them sit. If you want to dwell on it, if you want to make this as your intention for your meditation, then do that. Otherwise, it just sits there. You know, we can't unhear it. What have we learned? What have we gained? Not with judgment, not with saying, and how do we incorporate this and so forth. It's just that plain non-judgmental idea. Thank yourself that you've made that commitment for formal practice. You've set your intention, and we chant an Om to bring us together as a group on this beautiful full moon day. Let's exhale together. Take a big inhale. And keeping the eyes closed for a moment longer, let the Om resonate. And notice just that coming to the mat or to the floor or the bed, just that area where you want to take that formal practice of meditation, that being still and listening to what I have to say, that sort of drawing inwards already, that's already meditation. Yeah, and often I'm asked, what's the difference? Meditation, mindfulness. So in meditation, we're hugely mindful. We're aware and we're open and curious about everything that comes up, the sounds we hear, what we feel, what comes up as an emotion. And the meditation is a formal practice. And already sitting here, there's no shape to take. There's no further instructions, just that, listening, noticing that mind wanders in and out in this way and that way. Sometimes we're a bit focused on techniques, and there's nothing wrong. Sometimes we need a particular technique. And yet I'd like us to really be okay with just sitting, feeling, hearing, listening, and then drawing the senses inwards by focusing on the breath. Just allowing the inhalation breath to be noticed, the exhalation breath to be noticed. Now you all had intentions quietly to yourself. You all shared also what you would like to, what your motivation was for coming to the meditation. So maybe you want to really make this into a breath meditation. I think last week we explored the name and the intention. I personally often like to just use my intention for the day, my word, on the inhale and on the exhale. So see if you can do that for a few rounds of breathing. Perhaps letting just these little bits of information that I passed on and that question that I passed on float into that. Perhaps that was one bit of goodness, golden nugget, one bit of energy that we can take away from that last moon cycle was that we can actually have a positive meditation experience because we're not attached to how long it takes. If we find ourselves in presence for a few rounds of breathing or for 5 minutes, both are equally useful. Whether we have a complicated technique or we just sit and experience our senses. It's the doing, not the knowing. It's the doing and the practicing in both yoga and meditation. And I think in life also. It's knowing how to find our inner peace, our inner harmony, when outside circumstances are challenging, and then practicing and doing it. Being okay that sometimes that works really efficiently and sometimes not so. And then in true mindfulness, let this be of equal value. Sometimes in practice, the moment we sit, we close our eyes, we bring hands in prayer, and we're in Om, the presence is there, and we're dropping deep. And sometimes we may need until the end of the practice to get to that stage. Both are of equal value and useful. Nice. I want a couple of minutes in the experience of using the mantra that we've explored before, the mantra of So Hum. I am, or I am that. So if you want to release the hands or change your seated position, you can. I will just stay seated here. And so this comes from a Vedic tradition where the idea is that all is one. And we want to feel and see ourselves as part of a whole. And the deeper idea behind is that the ego keeps us separate from everything. And so at the basic level, that idea of mantra meditation is to dissolve that. And just feel us being part of the cosmos, the universe. Now that's an idea. So hum. And just using it's a bit like it's sort of like a drop in the ocean, that little mantra, and then just allowing the ripples of that to take over. And just noticing how with that initiated stillness, as we focus on the effects of so hum and ripple effect, that stillness that's created because of that focus. And a bit like a wave, it just brings us with it. And then we could surface again and the mind becomes busy. And then we just use that mantra again and just drop a little deeper into that sense of stillness. And we're feeling into a sense of freedom, but just becoming the observer of how that feels for us, how that goes for us. Where we don't really have an outcome that we're attached to. Just observing that sense of stillness that it brings. I am, or so hum, I am that. Let's be curious for another minute or so, and let's be inviting thought processes, emotions, everything that comes up for you. In a sense, validating that, or maybe little snippets of answers come to you because we have been putting that invitation out there to feel into what has changed, what have we gained. And being okay if at the most basic level this is simply about being with no words, with no particular body shape for a few minutes. And yet not being on your own, being in a group, accepting some guidance. Nice. Always useful to not be too far away from pen and paper after the meditation for any insights that you may want to write down. So hum, perhaps noticing how we drop deeper into heart space, into a sense of stillness. Because we give the sense of curiosity and just observing and noticing what arises our full attention. We're not shutting anything out. We're embracing it all. So hum. When we come back, we explore that again in a course. I'd like to hear from everyone what comes up. Just a few more rounds. That's nice. So humble, plain and humble. I am. That's pure. I am that. Nothing needs adding and nothing needs taking away. Mm. Nice. Slowly now, just allowing yourself to just notice, come back to noticing breath again. Maybe the sound, maybe the inhalation breath, the air is cool, the exhalation breath, the air is slightly warmer. Mm. Notice a sense of effortlessness in your being. Or notice the degree to which you are actually comfortable, not necessarily physically. I assume you're physically comfortable. Comfortable in that inner stillness. Comfortable to just notice breath. Comfortable in knowing that your experience is perfect for you. Comfortable in knowing and feeling that your meditation experience is a meditation experience. There is no judgment, there's no right or wrong, better or worse. What have we gained? What have we learned? So relevant. Always is, but if we look back since that last full moon 4 weeks ago, what insights have we received? Perhaps about ourselves, others, our beliefs. Let's make sure you're still comfortable in your physical position. You know you have my permission and you have your own permission to shift if you need to. And just moving for exploring purposes, but also so you have a few different ideas if you would like to expand on your formal qualification, formal meditation. Yeah, if you want to take bits and techniques home with you, incorporate them into a more regular formal sitting. Not that I have that expectation, but it could well be. And we're going to move into a loving kindness meditation or metta meditation, where the idea is simply about suggesting and intending, and then really feeling into the intention, feeling into our suggestions. I will stay seated where I am. You're welcome to be in any position and anywhere you like. That's it. So the idea is here that we, first of all, perhaps feel into whether we would like to give that loving kindness back to ourselves, or perhaps to someone or something. It could be as general as the earth, or that's always relevant, perhaps more so now. Maybe you're concerned about our waterways, concerned about animals, another person as in a particular person, or perhaps a nation or an ethnic group. Just feel into what feels relevant. Or perhaps yourself. So I will guide it as if we have chosen ourselves individually. And the first suggestion that we will feel into, and we say, we could either whisper it, there's no one that can hear it, or you can just say it in your mind's voice. May I be safe. So if you had chosen another person, you would say, say the person's name or the planet or a particular pet. You get the idea. You just say that a couple of times. May I be safe. May I be safe. You just feel into those words and you feel into that intention. You just let that, it's like a mantra, you just let it ripple 3 to 5 times in words, and you just feel into the intention for a few rounds of breathing. And we'll do about 4 or 5 of those. And it's also interesting, we notice how we really open up to the intention. And particularly if it's back to ourselves, it's like there's no boundaries, there's no holding back. There's that full idea of deserving of that feeling of safety. Just a few more rounds of breathing. Nice. And then our next idea will be, may I be optimistic. And again, for I, you just choose. And just feeling into that energy, feeling into that intention. And you just let it be said or whispered or internally expressed about 5 times. May I be optimistic. And you must just let it resonate throughout you, surrounding you. A few more rounds of breathing with that intention. And of course, if you wish to take this into your meditation, you could just focus on one and sit with that for a little longer. Or don't sit that long with just one, just make it suit you. And then our next idea will be the idea of, may I be at ease with what is. May I be at ease with what is. And just let it be said a couple more times. And there's no need to direct it anyway or anywhere. May I be at ease with what is. A couple more rounds of breathing with that intention. You may know physical reactions, notice physical reactions to it. Notice a sense of effortlessness. Beautiful. And our last directed idea will be, may I be divinely protected. May I be divinely protected. The I being whatever you have chosen. May I be divinely protected. Beautiful. And the very last idea is an idea that I'd like you to feel into. Just using whatever intention you feel is useful and relevant to your situation. Perhaps sort of from a feeling sense. Perhaps it has to do with your intention this morning. Perhaps it has to do with that full moon idea. Just feeling into that. Nothing that needs to be happening, nothing that needs to be achieved. We're not looking for a particular outcome. We honor the experience that we have, the divine experience, knowing that that's perfect for us. Just a few more rounds of breathing with your intention. Beautiful. And just letting that go. And just staying where you are and just finding another few rounds of breathing in that in that space, in that energetic field, in that way that you are at the moment. Being with what is. Just being. Yes, we can notice the breath. Just be and observe. It's like a mind turning inwards on itself. And just observing from the inside out. In a moment's time, we will chant an Om again to close our formal session. I know half an hour goes quick, but it's the practice. The technique is not so important. It's the experience and the practice. Absolutely valid because you're at home, if you have the time after the Om, may want to just lie down in Shavasana. If you're lying, you don't have to come up to seated. We could all just find prayer hands wherever you're at. Absolutely fine. We can chant an Om lying down. And slowly coming into prayer hands, whichever position suits you to do that in. Yeah, maybe bringing to the forefront of your mind the intention, if you did care to set one. And then let's exhale together. The inhale. And then again, seeing if you could just sit and be with the resonance of the Om. Being with that feeling, that physical sensation, that sort of energy field, and just honor the experience for what it was and what it is. I'm going to bow forward. If you're lying down, you can't bow. You just bring your hands to your forehead. I'm going to bow forward, say Namaste. Namaste from me to you individually, from me to you as a group. Thank you for joining me in the group this morning. I hope it was useful. Be nice to have a little. If you wanted to stay, I'll unmute you. I'm happy to have a sharing circle if you wanted to share something, but I do respect and understand that maybe we just want to keep that space and quietly go about our day, or quietly lie back and just have a little Shavasana. Very welcome too. It's 5 past. So thank you. Goes quick. Just going to come over and I unmute you. So if you wanted to stay and share, you can. I also turn the recording off. So I'll say an official goodbye. Recording off.